Hello, my friends, and welcome to the next video in the Create Better Content series, where I show you how to tap into your creativity so that you can stay consistent with your marketing and reach more customers. My name is Penny, and I'm going to be your guide through this unique content development process. I want to teach you how to create more engaging content to post, more remarkable content for your sales pages, and all of those things together that's going to help you reach more qualified customers. And if you want to learn more about creativity and how this can help you develop your content marketing plans, I would love to see you hit that button below and subscribe to this channel. And below in the description box there are links. One of the links that you'll see is for the Content Calendar Blueprint. This is an email-based training program. It's a comprehensive guide that's going to help you not just develop your content calendar, but it's going to help you develop your content marketing strategy based on your business's needs and your growth stage. The other link that you're going to see is that you can subscribe to the Marketing Strategy Collective program, and you can personally join us, and you can go through this process of developing content in a supportive group online space, and you can see what happens with your marketing strategy when you actually get to do this with a supportive group of people, as opposed to working your marketing on your own. So you see the links and you know what to do to learn more. All right, so let's jump in for today's video. Let's talk about content and talk about consistency. And consistent content, it's like this thing that everybody talks about all the time, constantly. You know, how can you be consistent? How can you create more content? How can you create better content? How you can create content to all of that stuff. Well, all of that together, just if you don't know where to start and you don't know what to do, it just feels so overwhelming. And you're asking yourself, exactly, there's all of these tips and things out there and these processes and programs and apps. What can I be doing to stay consistent in sharing my marketing message? One of my top recommendations, and one of the things that I highly recommend to all of my clients, is for you to start building something that I call an Evergreen Content Library. And what this does is it creates a space in your marketing plan so that you always have a steady flow of valuable content, and you're always having something available to you without every day having to start from scratch. Because in this strategy, the Evergreen Content Library is not just about saving time, but it also enhances how effective you are with your content marketing. So how does this whole Evergreen Content Library thing work? First, I want to talk through the idea of evergreen versus other types of content. So when we think about content, we really think about them in three different types. There's evergreen content, which is content that remains relevant and valuable over long periods of times, like how-to guides, case studies. Those are the type of things that, things that you can download from your website. Blog posts are really, really great evergreen content. And then there's seasonal content. And that's content that is obviously based on seasons, specific times of years like holidays or annual events. And it can help you definitely create some great content that'll drive some visitors to your website. But seasonal content has a limited lifespan. So it's not like we're going to be looking at Christmas information, in May. So we want to think about it from that perspective. And then, of course, there's the other type of content that we utilize that's going to be promotional, it's going to be valuable, it's going to be educational. These are the type of things that we use specifically with regards to looking at our, how we're going to promote our businesses. So if we talk about this from the view of the Evergreen Content Library, I want you to think about how this library can, when you pull it all together, it actually can help you with consistent traffic. Because the great thing about evergreen topics is that they continue to attract people to your website over time. And so it's providing this steady stream of engagement. Evergreen content also gives you a higher ROI, return on investment. So all the time that you spent working on that long form blog post, and then you've repurposed it into videos and you repurposed it into, Instagram reels, all of this content, because it is evergreen, it is relevant, it's going to last no matter when you've posted it, it's going to remain relevant. And so for longer term, you're going to be able to see your efforts come back to you. And so if we think about it from how we can put all of our evergreen content in a space where we can always access it, and we can always utilize these as a resource and a strategic way that we're going to be sharing our marketing. This is what the content library is about. So when we're building an evergreen content library, think about it from the sense of that it's a strategic way to approach your marketing. It makes sure that you have content that always remains relevant and it continues to drive traffic over time. That's its importance, and that is one of the best things about having this. So if we think about this from that place, let's talk through how you can establish and create your own evergreen content library. The first thing I would highly recommend that you do is conduct a content audit. I want you to think about all the existing content that you have. And I don't mean just your blog post or your videos. Think about the downloads that you've created. Think about your email opt-in. Think about, guides that you've done, that you have maybe put as a content upgrade to a blog post. All of these things together are your content. So I want you to take a look at all of your content and see if you can identify which of these content pieces are evergreen, which is something that's going to be relevant. Maybe you need to update, a date on it, or a data point, like you had a statistic and you could just go in and update the statistic for this year because maybe you did it 2 years ago. It's going to still consistently drive traffic. So I want you to identify these evergreen pieces of content that you have, and then think about ways that you can update and optimize them. And what I mean by optimize them, we want to make sure that we optimize them for SEO, because the great idea about evergreen, pieces of content is to make sure that it is consistently drawing traffic back to your website. So if you haven't optimized this for SEO, this is a great time for you to optimize your evergreen content so that you can make sure that you've improved the images, you've got SEO keywords in there, you've updated any of the current information. And while we're on SEO, one of the other things that you're going to do is that I want you to think about this from the place of your keyword research. Understanding what your customers are searching for is crucial. So look for keyword tools. There's keyword research tools that you can use. You can even just run a search on Pinterest and see what comes up, what people are actually searching for to give you long tail keywords. And this is also going to help you make sure that you are utilizing evergreen content with specific topics that people are searching for. So focus on those long tail keywords and think about how you can add the keywords into things like the title, into things like the alt tags on your images, into things like the first paragraph, into things where how your blog post is getting pulled up on Google. What's that little paragraph that's showing up on there? Those are all ways that you want to put in your long tail keywords into your content when you're optimizing it. And so when you're doing is you're turning this piece of content into what content creators refer to as high quality evergreen content. And this is the type of content that's going to remain valuable over long periods of time. It could even be valuable for years, especially if you're choosing something that's timeless, that's always relevant to your topics, topics that your customers are constantly looking for, questions that you get asked all the time, things from your FAQ that you use on your website that that people are asking about. These are the things that you can utilize this high quality evergreen content, and you can turn this into very much of a in-depth, comprehensive guide. It's got your insights, it shows your authority, and you definitely want to make sure that this is set up in the way that people who are online looking for information, Googling something. Is your blog post, is your video, is your content the answer to what they are looking for? So once we've got this content all written up and taken care of and updated and so on and so forth, your next step with your calendar, the Evergreen Content Library, is I want you to take all of that content that you just looked at, all of the content that you did in your audit, and then start to organize and categorize this. Think about this from the place of, if we think about like content buckets, we would categorize things into these content buckets. So that's what I want you to do. I want you to look at your evergreen content and categorize it. I want you to think about how you can organize it. Are these, things that answer questions? And this is a group of content that, promotes your business. This is a group of content that shows a video how-to series, like that kind of thing. I want you to, I don't want to get real specific about the categories because everybody's business is going to be different. So how you separate your content with regards to your content buckets or your content pillars, whatever word you want to use. I want you to utilize that same type of breakdown with your evergreen content. And then what you're going to do is, after you've organized it and categorized it together, now you want to make sure that when you are working through your content calendar, whether you do a 30-month out, 60-month out, a quarter, however you work out your content calendar, make sure that within your content calendar, you are leaving space for that evergreen content. You want to regularly add this into it and look for ways to repurpose it. Let's say we have an amazing evergreen content in the form of a blog post. And so what we could do with that blog post is we could make an image out of that, make an image out of a quote from it, and then put that on Instagram with maybe a paragraph about one of the things leading with the call to action. Go read the rest of the blog post. So think about ways that we're not just putting this content into our calendar, but we're actually looking for ways that we can repurpose it. And we can balance this, and we use our content calendar to make sure that we have balanced our evergreen content with the seasonal stuff, with the educational stuff, with everything else that we're doing. And that way we know that we are not just having to create something from scratch every single day, but we've got ourselves set up with a content calendar that is going to make sure that we show, what's going on with us right now, especially for launching something or for promoting something. But in between all of those sales promotions, in between all of that educational stuff, we want to make sure that we have this evergreen content that is mixed into it, because it gives you a great balance of all the content, and it's not just sell, or just value. There's a way that we can engage with our audience and our community by not just hitting them over the head every single day with a sales message. And the other thing that you're going to do with your library is because now it's all set up in a place where it's all together, it gives you the opportunity that you can actually analyze it. You can look and see which of the content, you can check your insights, you can check your analytics, you can check, post specific on each one of your social platforms. You can see which evergreen content is working. So it's always a great idea to also make notes into your evergreen content library that this blog post does really well, or this repurposing of this part does really, really well. So that's a huge thing that you can be adding into your content library that's going to help you move forward and know which pieces of content that you can keep utilizing again and again. And when you're implementing this, when you actually use this evergreen content library, it helps you implement like a repeatable system. It helps you develop your content calendar, and it helps you know how you can balance your evergreen and your seasonal and engaging content mix. It also allows you to create something called a feedback loop. And this allows you to see what's working, what needs to be improved, and what else content can be utilized and added into your evergreen content library. Because when you start to build and you maintain this, so building it is one thing, maintaining it and implementing it is obviously another thing. So when you're building it and implementing your evergreen content library, this is going to provide you with a proactive approach that ensures that you're never just scrambling for valuable content, and it allows you to focus on the growth and innovation of other content pieces. And so while you continue to think about how you can pull together your own evergreen content library, I want you to know that when you do this and when you add this into your content marketing strategy, and when you do this on a regular basis, this is going to help you continually attract and engage with your audience. It's going to reduce the need for you to create new content from scratch every single day, and it's going to allow you to focus on how your marketing message can reach more potential customers. So thank you so much for joining me today on this creative journey. If you've enjoyed this content about creative content development, I hope you'll hit the share button and let's keep this conversation going. And if you're just done with just doing this on your own and have been looking for help with your marketing strategy, I would love to see you join us in the Marketing Strategy Collective program. You get personalized feedback on your marketing efforts, your sales pages, your launch email sequence. We can even help you work through your evergreen content ideas. And you'll get to participate in an online exchange of ideas with other like-minded business owners to help you maintain a steady flow of engaging content and content that's going to help you convert more customers. So when you join the Marketing Strategy Collective program, you'll be able to stop working in a solo bubble and work in a collaborative space that's going to help you with your marketing efforts. I've got your back, my friend, but the next move is yours. I want you to click the link below and learn more about how you can join the Marketing Strategy Collective Group program. You are magnificent, my friend, and let me be the first to say, I'm proud of you. Until next time.